Okay. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a while. I have not streamed. I am streaming. Let's see if the connection is any good. If the connection is no good, I'll just cut it. But we should be fine. We should be fine for this stream at least. I'm checking right now to make sure it doesn't look funny. It looks fine. One watching, which is just me, of course. Uh, yeah. All right. Let's talk about Trump stock market. Trump stock market. Trump stock market. The highs are high and the lows are low. Let me see if I can get my. I'm gonna need to get my phone because I only have one monitor, so I can't read your. If you guys are leaving messages, I can't see it. So give me a second. Wow, that's fantastic. My phone was with me all along. Does that ever happen to you guys? You go to look for your phone and then it's like it was right there in front of you the whole time, so you were looking for nothing, basically. Uh, Hey, there we go. Now I can see the messages. Good morning. G morning. One request, if you don't mind, your thoughts on LAES. So shout out to NY2 Northwest. What is it? LAES? Oh, wow. Isn't this a buy? That's a buy. It's at the purple line. It's just going to follow the quantum stocks. All the quantum stocks are a buy right now. So that's what I think. I think, in my opinion, it's a buy. Like you can see very clearly huge hype, quantum hype, and then the hype dies, then again, and then it dies, and then the hype cycle again. So quantum just goes through cycles of hype. Woo, quantum, woo, and then it just drops. Woo, quantum again, woo, it's gonna go to the moon, and then it drops again. And here we are. So anytime it's come down here, it's a buy. You just gotta be able to sit on it though. You gotta be patient with it. So yeah, no, I'm buying Ion Q, but I'm waiting for 50 and under. I want Ion Q 50 and under. If it doesn't come under, then I don't want it. It's almost there. But yeah, LES, all the quantum stocks, they just follow one another. Big pumps, comes down to the purple line, big pumps, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So very easy money if you have the patience and pain tolerance more than anything. A lot of people can't handle the pain. They want all the gain, none of the pain. That's why they quit. People are quitters. Once the pain is too much, they're like, "Oh no, I don't want to deal with this." So yeah, okay. Trump stock market. Let's talk about Trump stock market. So what I've noticed is Trump stock market is gonna be very fun. It's gonna be very fun. Quantum getting smoked from IBM. Cool. I hope it gets smoked a little more. Bring it on down, as people like to say. But Quantum, yeah, shout out to Hero React, second person to leave a message unless I miss someone. Um, yeah, because I'm only working with one monitor and I'm looking at the messages on my phone. So DGXX, what are we looking at? What are we looking at? So Bitcoin has not broken that downtrend. That's the big problem right now. That's what's holding us back. The day we break this, I'm gonna be alerting leaps. That's when you start buying your calls. That's when you hammer calls, as people like to say. That's when you look at the nail and you just hammer it right over the head. Pow. That's when you start buying your leaps, your calls. Another thing I want to mention is the weekly time frame. Anytime we've gotten that white line crossing over the yellow line on the MACD, it's led to a surge. Same thing here, surge, right? You can see it very clearly. If you're in the Discord, you already got this information. Although most of you are probably asleep. We have not gotten that signal yet, but that's a good, powerful reversal, rare signal that comes around every now and then. But yeah, so if you want to load up on your calls on BMNR, MSTR, all those fun stocks, you need to wait for that signal. We're still in that downtrend, by the way. We need to break it. We need to break it hopefully this week. Until then, you just gotta sit back and relax. Be cautious. Yeah, people thought the Fed rate cut was gonna like save us or something, but that's not how this works. This whole idea of getting saved. The stock market can only be propped up for so long. So, like I said yesterday, if you keep eating sugar, it tastes good, right? You eat one Snickers, you're like, yeah, I feel myself now. You eat two Snickers, you're like, wow, this is still pretty good. I like two Snickers. You eat three Snickers, and you're like, it's still good. Feeling a little queasy, but I'll have a fourth. And I'm talking about the big king size Snickers, by the way. I'm not talking about the little ones. I'm talking king size. You guys ever eat 32 little bite sized Snickers? Oh boy, you're gonna vomit. I did that once when I was a kid. It's not a good idea. The point I'm trying to make is too much of a good thing usually leads to a sugar crash at some point, right? Or in this case, you would vomit from eating so much sugar. So yeah, 32 bite-sized Snickers, don't do that. The point I'm trying to make is Trump drops these headlines hoping to keep the stock market going up. But that's cool, that's awesome. But again, too much of a good thing. What happens? At some point you're gonna throw up. Don't you don't believe me? Go buy a ton of go buy 300 Snickers, which is a lot of money, but go buy 300 Snickers and try to eat as many as you can. The eat your heart out challenge, I guess. You're gonna crash at some point. The human body cannot tolerate, just like the stock market cannot tolerate too much of a good thing. Think of it that way. So Trump with these headlines trying to keep the markets from falling, trying to keep it up. That's a lot of sugar, and he's been putting a lot of sugar on the market. So at some point we were gonna crash, and here we are. Trump's stock market is gonna be the highs are highs and the lows are lows. What do I mean? What do I mean by that? When we rock it, we're just gonna, everything's just gonna go bananas, right? When we rock it, everything, you can see this here. Look at this. Look at this is Trump's stock market. Look at MVST. This is Trump's stock market. Look at this. This is 2025 of March. Huge surge right here, and then huge dump. Huge surge, huge dump, and the cycles have been repeating. This is the new this is the new normal, courtesy of Trump. So we're gonna get huge. The highs are high and the lows are lows. It's gonna sunk when we crash, but man, does no one cry when it's going up, right? So here we are. We're at the crash part, and this time we might crash even harder. Again, too much sugar, too many Trump headlines. Eventually, we're gonna crash very, very hard. And this might not be it. This might be the one time we just crash. This is just another regular crash, but at some point we're gonna get the big one. I don't. I hope this is not it. I really hope this is not the bear market. I do not want a bear market in 2026, but we'll see. So that's if you didn't know this, if you haven't recognized this, write that down. Trump stock market since he became president, we have big pumps and we get big dumps. If you have patience and high pain tolerance, you're just gonna make hand over fist money in this market, as long as you're buying the good ones, right? As long as you're buying stocks like this that pump huge, come to the purple line, pump huge, come to the purple line, or they give that weekly signal on the weekly time frame. They give that MACD signal, right? You can wait for the signal. Look at that. White line crosses the yellow line, huge surge, huge surge, huge surge, and we're waiting for it again. A lot of stocks have the same pattern right now because we all kind of just dumped together. So a lot of stocks at the purple line, a lot of stocks who you can just sit back and wait for the signal. Once you get that signal, then you start hammering the calls. Then you go nuts, and then you go banana. I have not alerted calls since October. Why? Because it just didn't seem right that we crashed so hard in October. So it just didn't make sense to. We were at highs too on top of that, and people were leveraged. Uh, there were so many people messaging me in October, like, "Oh my God, I have short term dated calls. What do I do?" And I'm just like, don't buy short term dated calls. Number one, number two, you bought short term dated calls at highs, and you don't know where the top's gonna be in. So you're just hoping that it keeps going higher. That doesn't make sense. Buy high and sell higher. Like that's like buying low and selling lower. Like that's just stupid. It's called buying low and selling high, or at least have a stop loss if you're gonna buy high and hoping it goes higher. But you know how people are; they're not gonna set stop losses. So, yeah, this is Trump's stock market. Welcome to Trump's stock market, where we get huge pumps and huge dumps. So take advantage of the dumps. Here we are. This is where you buy, and if it goes down, you just buy more because you know Trump's stock market is going to be very volatile both ways. Again, nobody was crying here. Look at all these weeks of green. Look at all these weeks of green. Nobody was shedding tears. Oh no, please stop. Please stop going up. I don't I don't understand why it keeps going up. Nobody does that. But now the people are crying. Now it's painful. Now Trucker Jeff is like, "God damn it, just go down. Just go down. Just stop just stop faking us out. Stop going choppy. Just go straight down already. Get it done with. Oh, it's done and over with." But that's not how it works. Nice MACD settings. Is it only for weekly to be the accurate? Yeah. It's weekly time frame only for maximum accuracy, and it's a stronger signal versus the daily. It's not the default MACD. I forgot what it is. Is it 12.26.4? Yeah, it's 12.26.4, not 12.26.9. 9 is you get a later signal. Let me put it that way. With 4, you get a sooner signal. But yeah, so yeah. This is Trump stock market. Welcome. You guys wanted this, you got it. Now you got to have the pain tolerance, right? There's a lot of people that were excited that joined my Discord. A lot of people joined my Discord telling me, "Hey, I think it's gonna be a great 4 years in the stock market." And I was like, "Yeah, maybe we'll see." Well, here we are. It is pretty great when it pumps. Not so great when it dumps. Those same people are now the ones crying like, "Wait, I thought we were only gonna go up." So there you go, guys. A lot of people are gonna quit. A lot of people are gonna call the stock market a scam. They think they just buy and immediately goes up. A lot of people are gonna walk away from it, then come back and think it's gonna be different this time. They're gonna chase highs as they go higher. Like it's just so stupid. And they'll just rinse and repeat the pattern. They'll come back into the markets when everything's going higher, and then it dumps, and then they hold the bag, and then they leave the markets again. Oh, it's a scam. I knew it. Maybe, and then they just keep rinsing and repeating. There are people that are that dumb. Unfortunately, they just don't learn, no matter how much you hit them over the head. Uh, so yeah, that's just that is it is what it is. If you're not doing that, you're already better than most. So let's look at my favorites here. SoundHound under the purple line, or you can wait for the MACD signal on the weekly time frame. Either or. Really, if you want to be safe and you want to time this and be precise as possible, and especially if you have a smaller account. So notice how the stock comes down under the purple line, and then you go to the weekly. Once the stock is under the purple line, go to the weekly time frame, and then look at the MACD. Once you get to that purple line on the daily, go to the weekly time frame and wait for that white line crossing over the yellow line signal. That marks a bottom. You buy. You would have bought here at like 12. I think some of you remember we bought at 12, then it came down to 9, and I was like, oh, whatever, cool, I'll add more. And then we surged, obviously, to 15, 20, and so on. So uh, same thing. I just showed you something new. If you want to combine, if you're combining indicators but on different time frames. So daily time frame, write that down, by the way, write it down. On the daily time frame, wait for the stock price to come down to the purple line. Once it's at the purple line, near it, close to it, under it, whatever, switch over to the weekly time frame and look and wait for that white line to cross the yellow line. Usually marks a bottom and then a surge to come in the future. Of course, this is a weekly time frame. You can see the signal happened in May 12, and it took all the way till October, June, July, August, September, October. Yeah, it took 5 months to hit the high. So it doesn't happen right away. Don't get it twisted. This isn't a daily time frame. This is a weekly time frame, so it's gonna be a while. But that way, your entry is more precise, and you're already buying on the reversal instead of averaging down as it goes lower at the purple line. So it's up to you. You can just average down at the purple line and ignore the weekly signal, or you can, this is probably better for smaller accounts because smaller accounts don't have the money to keep averaging down. So smaller accounts, I would recommend this strategy where you combine both indicators from the daily and weekly timeframes. So there you go. I think that one's pretty simple. I try to keep it simple, nothing complex. My strategies are simple, but they require, again, high pain tolerance and picking good stocks. Strategy basically really is what it comes down to. No stop loss needed for the good ones. If you're buying garbage, good luck. Let me see what else. Yeah, there's a lot of good ones. MVST, Rigetti. I don't know about Pony. I don't know much about that one. But yeah, SoFi. Notice how all of these, when we get that signal, that reversal signal on the MACD, everything's gonna surge together and it's gonna be beautiful and everyone's gonna be like, oh my god, it's so easy, everything just keeps going up. Woo! No one's gonna be crying. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun again. But you gotta go through the pain to get the gain, as people like to say. Do people even say that? I don't know. But yeah, I'm waiting for APLD to drop to 25. Ion Q under 50. Sybil to 0011 is what I'm waiting for. Because if everything's going to tank, we would expect Sybil to tank too. It ain't special. Sybil's not a special stock. It's not going to do something different because it's special. No. I think it's going to go to 0011. And every single time it's been nothing more than opportunity. So imagine crying down here and then it goes up like 6 to 10x. Again, high pain tolerance. If you don't got it, I don't know what to tell you. DG Power, I don't know much about it. MVST, I like MVST. I like SoundHound. What else? APLD, Rich Tech Robotics. I think I want this one lower. Let me see. Yeah. Wait for it to. Yeah, I need this one like 350 at least and under. NVTS, I want that one at like 550 personally. Prep Palantir at the purple line. Big Bear AI. If this comes down, it should come down to like 550. Yeah, there's so many stocks that are just, again, everything's falling together. So there's nothing wrong with any of these companies. It's just people hate pain. Pain does not feel good. So purple line is MA 200, right, bro? It's weighted moving average, WMA. WMA. How long have I been streaming? I don't even know how long I've been streaming. Oh, just 20 minutes? Cool. Yeah, people are probably still asleep. It's 7:25. So I think there's only like 10 people in here probably. Also, LES has the lowest PS ratio among its peers and relatively undervalued based on sales versus QED. Well, good for LAES. Good for them if they have the lowest PS ratio. I don't really look at that. I don't really look at that because people always say that Palantir has a ridiculous PE ratio, and it just keeps going up anyway. So with quantum stocks, just buy any one of them and they'll go up really. So yeah, I don't. I guess you're holding it long term if you're looking at that. If you're just looking to swing it and take the profits when the cycle of quantum comes back around, then who would care about that? So I'm assuming you're more of a long term if you're looking at those ratios because I don't bother with those unless I'm looking for something to hold long term, which is just the PE of Nvidia. That's the only thing I hold long term at this point. Justin Ray 6570. Shout out to Justin Ray, third person in here, or at least third person to leave a comment. Yeah. Let's. I think Bitcoin mining stocks are they're about to be a huge buy if we tank. Yeah, there was a guy in my Discord that asked me, "Hey, should I sell?" And I'm like, "Huh? What are you talking about?" It's like they bought Riot stock at like 16 and they're like, should I sell? Because I want to buy cheaper. And I'm like, well, what if you buy at 12 and then it goes to 10? Are you just gonna keep taking losses over and over again, trying to because you can't tolerate being in the red because you want to time the bottom? I guess like it's just so odd. Like, sir, you're not buying the top. I mean, if you bought the top, then I'd be like, oh yeah, you're screwed. But you bought at oops, yeah, you bought Riot stock at yeah. People always ask me these foolish questions, and I always assume it's just out of lack of experience. But I'm like, it just doesn't make sense, right? You bought low and you're gonna sell lower. Like that would be like waiting for Black Friday to buy a Nintendo Switch at like 20% off, and then you sell it for like 50% off to someone else. Like, wait, what? That doesn't make sense. That's like in high school when you would sell cigarettes to people, but instead of selling to cigarettes to people at a profit, you would buy cigarettes. You'd buy the Marlboro Reds or the what are the other ones? The menthol. I forgot that there were some menthol ones. I remember used to smoke those. I smoked for like a week and then I was like, oh yeah, this is not for me. I'll stick to good old alcohol. Menthol Marlboro Lights, menthol. I don't remember the menthol. There was a one that had a nice menthol, uh, quote unquote taste to it. I guess to put it that way, for lack of a better term. But yeah, it's like buying Marlboro Lights in high school from someone older, and then you sell it at cheaper. Like that doesn't make sense. You paid $8 for a pack of cigarettes, and you're gonna sell it cheaper. Like, are you stupid? Like that doesn't. You get what I'm saying? You get the mindset. That doesn't make sense in the stock. Only in the stock market do people like go, hey, I bought 33% off. Well, I'm gonna sell it because I want to like what? That doesn't, huh? That doesn't make sense. You're already getting a 33% discount. Just buy more. What's the problem? So that's a question that I've been getting a lot on Riot, SoundHound, and a bunch of other stocks. Like I'm assuming it's people who are scared, who don't. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, lack of knowledge is what I assume, but that's just weird when you think about it. Like you can't be buying a pack of cigarettes in high school for $8 and then like, hey, I'm gonna sell it cheaper. Woo! Like that doesn't like, huh? Excuse me? Should I be admitting that? Sup, hey, what's up, Quantum Game Labs HQ F5? Goddamn, that's a long name. Quantum Game Labs HQ F5. Why do you prefer WMA versus Emma? Uh, I don't really. It doesn't even. If you want me to be honest, yeah, no, no, no. I don't. Yeah, no. There's no difference as far as I can tell between the two of them. But I like the WMA because it's purple. Why is it purple? Because I changed it purple. Really, there's no difference whether you buy it one or the other. So use either or, in my opinion. There's really no like it's. I prefer it because just to be different because everyone else uses the MA or the EMA. So I guess that's really it to put it that way. Yeah, buy cheaper, guys, and sell cheaper. Buy low, sell lower. Did you guys like that video where I was being sarcastic? All right, guys, you want to buy APLD at the top, you chase high and hope that it goes higher. No, no, no. You don't want to buy when it's discounted. No, don't do that. That's stupid. That's opposite land. You want to diamond hands at the top. You're gonna hold. If it goes down, you buy more, and then if it tanks 50%, you add even more. It doesn't matter that your average is all the way up here at highs. Remember, it's buy high and sell higher. That's it for the video, guys. Bizarro shades out. But yeah, that's one of those videos that I had to make because it's just so ridiculous. So many people bought the top on a lot of stocks, and I'm like, why would you do that? That doesn't make sense. So yeah, I still like APLD. Someone asked me like, hey, what if CoreWeave tanks? Oh no, we're not gonna need the AI infrastructure at all. Like, get out of here. Get out of here with these dumb questions. Uh, yeah, I think I'm gonna keep the stream short, short, sweet, to the point for today. Um, we need that. I think I'll end it on this. We need to break that downtrend on Bitcoin. Once that breaks, I will turn into Super Bowl, no, Super Bowl, Superman version of, I guess, the stock market. I will be the most bullish person ever. I will be like, yes, guys, now you want to buy BMNR now, because people have been talking about BMNR, but it's not a buy. Well, BMNR is still risky. I don't care that Tom Lee is in it. I would wait for that weekly signal, right? I think it's better to wait for that signal. Like this is one of those risky stocks. It's just better for wait for that weekly signal, because this thing has just been dumping, and when the market was rallying, this thing just went sideways. So it's not exactly a good look. And I'll end it on that. I know some of you are just joining, but I figured I'd start now, get it out of the way. Moral of the story is Trump's stock market is incredible when the highs are high, but it's when the crashes come, people start crying, and then more quitting, and they get all emotional. So those of you getting emotional, it's time to buckle up, and you gotta acknowledge and recognize this is going to be part of the game. You want a Trump stock market? You want a Trump pumping the markets and holding it up and causing it to go higher? You're going to get massive crashes, and those are going to be nothing more than opportunity. You just got to have the right mindset, high pain tolerance. It's time to work on that. If you don't got it, if you got it, then awesome. You already know what to do. It's time to buy more. That's it for the video. Let's see what happens this week. Should be an interesting week. Don't ask me what I expect. I don't know what to expect. I expect more downside, really, I guess, is because Bitcoin just keeps going down. So until Bitcoin recovers, I'm just going to keep saying, yep, we're probably going to go down lower. Any pump is just going to sell off. That's all it's been doing. That's it for the stream. Hope you guys have a great morning.